If you think of an archetype as a personality type, this video is going to challenge you. Most writers write from categories like the hero, the villain, the lover, the sage, and they're writing from categories, not from essence. And this is why your book or your manuscript can feel like it's got the perfect structure, but it's lacking some depth. It's lacking something. And I'm going to share with you today in this video how you can add some real depth to your archetype or your character and bring it to life. So, because an archetype isn't a role or a label that we use for them, it's actually something really different. It's a wound or a meaning that's carrying them through the whole book. So, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. My name is Victoria Ann Lord, and I help you to write your book in 90 days using imagination, meaning, and mythical structure. And this playlist is all about understanding your archetypes. So, the archetype acts because of a belief or a wound, and I'm going to explain it to you today. And the best way I can do this is by using a well-known figure in the mythical scene of things. And we'll use Lady Galadriel from The Lord of the Rings because I think that she's a heroine and she's got a class about her. So let's do this. So Lady Galadriel is personified as the leader, the guardian, the tempted queen. So she's got the leader archetype about her. And um, what we what we can break it down into is three aspects of the archetype. And so the first one would be the wound, the second one would be the shadow, and the third one would be the light. So when you're working with your character in your book, you can understand, and this is what will give your character depth. You'll be like, what wound does my character have? What shadow does my character have? And what light does my character have? And so um, Lady Galadriel had her wound, um, which is the emotional, the belief. So if you think of a past wound, if you wanted to think of yourself, you write in this book, and there's a past wound that held either an emotion or a belief to it. And so for Lady Galadriel, her wound belief was that power is dangerous. So Fredo was going to offer her a ring of power. And in her wound is like, if I fully claim this power, I will become a horrible person. That's the wound. That's the belief she had. And so when she became the tempted queen, Fredo handed her the ring of offering her the ring. She had to observe her wound right there. If I take this ring, I'll be a terrible person. And so she looked at this ring and she noticed her shadow. And the shadow is what happens if I take this ring off Fredo, then other people will suffer. And so the wound is how, I'm sorry, the shadow is how it's going to act out as a terrible person. So the wound is if I take the ring, I'll be a terrible person. And the shadow is what happens if I take the ring. And if I take this ring, then others will suffer. And so when she came to the tempted queen, she was offered the ring and she met it with the third part of her archetype, which is the light. And so the archetype of the light means that she sees a temptation, but she chose to meet the challenge with some wisdom and some awareness. And she looked at the ring and she's like, I can rise without needing that power. And so then she's come into the light and she's won the battle with her sense of self. And so that's how character will start from the wound and it will go through the shadow. What's going to happen to others if I don't win the inner battle? And then the light is rising without the pain of the past. And so you can see that her wound of becoming a terrible person, taking the ring, she won that battle with that. So I hope that makes sense. If it's making sense, you can subscribe to this channel because this is a playlist about archetypes and their surroundings. So let's use another one for example. The seeker. So the seeker believes that if they stay in this one spot, I'm either going to die with my song still in me, and it's just going to be a horrible thing to stay where I am, so I need to go on an adventure. So their wound is I don't want to die with this in me, and so they're going to go on an adventure and they become a seeker through life, and often the seeker is going through many different roles in life trying to find their thing, and this the shadow of that can be like if people see me chopping and changing again, I'm going to be judged. And so there's an inner battle going on. And then I'll come through to the light and they'll be completely happy with who they am on their adventure of life, finding where their place is. And so you can take your character through the wound, the shadow, and the light. And so that will help you to write your book for moving on. And if you're new to writing a book, and you don't know where to start, and I have a free 5-day book starter challenge that can help you to start your book today instead of tomorrow. And in the next video, we're going to actually go onto the seeker archetype deeply, and we're going to learn about the wounds that won't let them stay the same or stay small. So I'm going to take you through the next videos on the 5 archetypes that will run an amazing book. So I'll see you in the next video for the seeker. Thank you so much for watching, and see you later.